Don't look too close for this stately old farmhouse. It was destroyed in a controlled burn, bringing an end to that chapter in the life of one of the town's oldest known families. The home, dating back to the mid-1800s, had been home to 6 different generations of the Saunders family. The original site was on the west side of South Park Avenue, across from Beto Drive. When the New York State Thruway was constructed in 1956, the barn and other buildings had to be destroyed, and the house was then moved on rollers across the field to a location a good distance off the road, but facing Southwestern Boulevard. It was here that the old house was burned. The story of the Saunders family trek from Rhode Island to Western New York in the spring of 1818 is a story of hardship and perseverance that was lived by thousands of early American families as they made their way to what they hoped would be a new home and greater economic opportunity. Can you imagine making such a trip, usually behind a yoke of oxen? These patient animals became the universal resource of the first pioneers who came to this part of the state. The daily lives of these first settlers to the Hamburg area were extremely hard. Most were very poor, and arriving in the arena in late summer or early fall, their first task was to build a shelter. Secondly, with no food to rely on from a fall harvest, they had to depend on small stock of provisions brought with them from their former homes. Fortunately, wild game was plentiful. When Samuel Saunders arrived in Big Tree with his family in 1818, he built a log cabin somewhere along Howard Road and quickly began to prepare his family for the coming winter. When they came to the area, Samuel's family included wife Chloe and children Henry, age 11, Atwell, age 10, Anna, age 9, Miranda, age 8, Riley, age 3, Eliza, age 2, and Chloe, age 1. In 1865, just at the close of the Civil War, it was young Atwell who constructed the farmhouse seen in the photo. When he died in 1875, Atwell left 57 acres, including the farmhouse, to his son, Asaph. Asaph and his wife, Sarah Irons, later had 3 children. Atwell, named for his grandfather, Edith, and Lyman. It was Harold Saunders, Atwell's son, his wife Aletha, and her son David Saunders, who then moved into the house in 1939. In 1947, Harold then purchased the farmhouse from his estate. Harold's family included his wife and son, along with daughters Judy and Sarah. But it was Harold's grandson Mark who lived with his grandfather until his death and remained at the homestead for the final 3 years, who represented the sixth and final generation of the Saunders family to live there. Aletha passed in 1991. Harold Saunders passed in 2000. When the Big Tree Volunteer Fire Department conducted the control burn of the old Saunders farmhouse in October 2003, it was the end to an era in the town. The Saunders family is a classic example of the many pioneer families who endured many hardships, made their way to a new life in raw wilderness and many miles from their roots. A life that was to span 138 years in the same house and on the same land in the town of Hamburg.